and juice, he'd have said juice, wouldn't he? Hi, Jack.
You've been rude.
Yeah, I am. I'm a badass motherfucker.
Oh, it's good to see you, mate.
Good to see you, Jack.
Are you okay?
I'm very well, you?
Yeah, I'm very well. Very well.
Good.
First day back today at work after my little adventure last week.
Yes, up to Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
How'd it go?
It went very well.
You love?
I had a...
Oh, that's not what I'm there.
You're going to piss her off, mate. No, I had a really good time. And what I think the important thing for me was that made me appreciate the North a little bit more. I think I've always been a little bit sceptical of the North, and maybe probably give them a hard time because it's always cold and raining up there. But actually, the tour that I had around Newcastle and all the surrounding area, absolutely stunning, mate. Went to Hadrian's Wall, it was awesome. Went to Sycamore Gap, which is, I put some pictures on Instagram. The tree there, people will know from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner and Morgan Freeman when they're at there's like a scene that's filmed there. So that was cool, and then went to Tynemouth, which is this lovely little coastal town. There was an awesome market there. There was a castle, priory. It's fucking cool, man. Just the whole thing.
Done a dip in the river as well, didn't
Yes, mate. Done a dip in the River Tyne. That was absolutely freezing.
Yeah.
Something else.
Done some form of cold water every day in December?
Yes, mate. Yeah, every day. Yeah. Last couple of days I've just been in the showers, but yeah, it's been good, man.
Nice.
That's been good. That little motivation in the morning.
That's good. I'm going to come up to Newcastle with you. That's on my bucket list to do. Another thing on my bucket list to do, which is getting complete, is I wanted to do a boxing match, didn't I? And I was gonna do one before lockdown, but I put a lot of weight on. But I spoke to me old coach Nicky.
I think I heard word of this. You've openly challenged Fabio Wardley, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm going to bang him out. He's
I've heard
a
this.
dosser.
Yeah, I did hear you were chatting shit the other day, and I think people were saying you just don't like the bloke. And it's just
hang on a minute, Jack. No,
he's the new reigning and defending British heavyweight champion.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Good. Best of luck to him. I think I'm on a different path, a different level.
Yeah, I mean, your side to sell on Tyson Fury, really, isn't it?
Really, yeah. But at first, I'm just going to fight someone that's never done it before, like me.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. But thanks for bigging me up, and then let me crumble like that. And for the record, I really respect Fabio. Please don't hurt me.
Oh shit!
Yeah, but you never know. I might come for him after my baby.
Just in case we get Fabio on the podcast at some point.
That'd be great. That's a great shout, Fabio.
Gareth must be able to hook us up.
We'll sort something out, definitely. I wanted to. We got me mate Rick coming on today.
Yes.
Rick's lost a lot of weight. I'll let him tell more about that. And he was also had a hair transplant because he was insecure about his hair, and he's up for openly talking about that, which is a great conversation because a lot of men struggle with insecurities, but they hide it more than what women do. And if there's one thing, do you remember me telling you about when we first started the dip? Not just with hair, but body conscious men. That is a massive thing for men.
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
And a lot of people that would message me, you would not even think or dream that they were insecure, and they said, I want to come and do the dip, but I ain't taking me top off in front of people. So it is a real issue for men. They just hide it better than women, I think. And also I wanted to do something a bit different on this podcast. I wanted to read. Normally when I find something that I've read, I'd get you to read it out, but I've been working on the reading and that. I am dyslexic, but I've been working on it, and I'm going to read this out. I saw it and I liked it.
I'm happy to do it, mate.
No, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I might stutter and I might stumble, but I saw this and I think it fits in well with Dare to Dip, Dare to Talk, and whatever else we're doing. So it's an autobiography in 5 short chapters. Dr. Wayne Dyer, I heard it on one of his YouTube videos. He's a good role model to me, but I just thought it was brilliant. This is chapter 1. I walk down the street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I am lost. I am helpless. It isn't my fault. It takes me forever to find a way out. Chapter 2. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I am in the same place, but it isn't my fault. It still takes me a long time to get out. Chapter 3. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it there. I still fall in. It's a habit, but my eyes are open. I know where I am. It is my fault. I get out immediately. Chapter 4. I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5. I walk down another street. I like that. Give me goosebumps at all. And I read that really well, I think.
You did.
Thank you.
Well done, buddy.
Thanks.
Would you be able to send that to me as well?
Yes.
Because I want to share that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that a lot.
Good. Right, let's get Rick on.
We're just going to go straight into
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here he is, here he is, here he is.
Hi, Sam. Do you want to do the little...
Yeah. Here he is, here
No,
he is.
no.
This is Dead to Talk.
Yeah.
I'm Sam.
I'm Jack.
And this is Rick.
Hello.
What geezer.
Yeah, all right.
I love Rick. He's one of your best mates, and it's good to have him on the podcast, but not just because you're a friend, but because you've got a very inspirational story. And I just want to put it out there first of all, I'm very, very proud of you, mate, for
Thank you.
not only what we're going to talk about, there's things that you've been going through that we're not going to discuss so much today, but you've life's thrown you lemons and you've fucking made lemonade out of it, and you're always, no matter what's going on in your life, you help others out as well.
Yeah, try to.
And you're a good friend and an inspiration, because you're going to tell these people. Well, how much weight have you lost in the last?
£3 or 4.5 stone since the 1st of July.
You must feel incredible for that.
Well, 1st of July I was wearing 42-inch jeans. I'm now in 32-inch.
How have you done that?
The first month I done the Cambridge diet. A lady called Rebecca Thomas. I reached out to her because I see her posts on social media. She helped me. She messages her clients every day, inspirational quotes. Every time you do a weigh-in, weekly or fortnightly. I never went to see her, but you can do the face-to-face interaction. But I'd just order the food, she'd drop it off to me, I'd send her my weigh-in, and she'd send me back my BMI, and just the encouragement. If you were having a bad day or you wanted a burger or something, you would see a message from her. It's like she knew. She got a sixth sense about it. So I'd done that. It's hard to come off the Cambridge diet because it is a massive calorie deficit.
What is it then?
So basically I was having a shake for breakfast, then I was having a bar for lunch and maybe a bag of crisps, but they were, it's all nice tasting food, but it is. Then for dinner, literally just a dinner where you add hot water, you put it in the microwave, or you add boiling water, like they do soup, stuff like that. So I've done that pretty hard for the first 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I've done it before and I've lost weight, but I've never kept it off. And then what I'd done was I weaned myself off it, and now I still, because I don't have breakfast, so I keep the shakes. I have the shakes. I'm not massive on lunch.
Does she make them herself as well?
No, it's all like pre-ordered stock. But you have to go through. You can't just go to Boots or.
Does it take a lot of willpower then, or do they fill you up, or are you still battling the hunger at first?
The first 3 to 5 days are really hard, because you're constantly hungry and you just want a biscuit or a chocolate bar. But I said to myself no, and so snacks completely cut out, fizzy drinks completely cut them out. Especially for the first month, I wouldn't even drink a Diet Coke, even though they're fine to drink in moderation. I wasn't. It was just water, juice. At work every Friday we have a lunch at McDonald's and Nando's. We get, everyone in the office chooses it each week. I wasn't having that.
The rewards.
Yeah, you have reaped the rewards.
I don't even work with Rick, but I've been at lunch at Rick's a few times.
And you've even taken someone else's lunch.
Yeah, one time someone in the office, the food didn't turn. My food didn't turn up, so I ate one of his office staff's. They offered it to me politely. I took it.
I wouldn't say you took it, more snatched it.
I'd ate it before she finished the sentence.
Yeah. So that was really hard for me. Obviously. And especially the office I work in, there's McDonald's breakfasts going around a couple of times a week, Greg's sausage rolls,
So is it due to that how you got to the size?
Yeah, That was my business partner. Yeah, used to actually quote. He'd go on the internet and go, "How much do you weigh in stone?" And he'd go to me, "You're 0.007 ton," and I'm like, "Cheers."
Yeah.
But I asked him what his weight was Friday. I'm actually lighter than him now.
Yeah.
So
I
can see that was building up. You were going to get that in at some point.
I'll push myself for that.
Yeah.
Cheers, Carl.
Yeah.
So that it is hard for the first week, but then I just weaned myself off it. I'd have a takeaway once a week. I would have only the dinners 3-4 times a week, and then have a meal, even if it was chicken nuggets and chips for the kids. You know, a meal. Go to Prezzo's. I knew I could do it. I wouldn't do it 2-3 days on a trot, but I'd do it one, have a couple of good days.
I think you're quite sensible with what you're ordering now. We go out to dinner and that, and you have a salad and
Wagamama's.
So now you're not on that diet. You're still very conscious about what you're eating and stuff.
It's changed my lifestyle to a point that I don't. Like when we went to Wagamama's on Saturday and I ordered a katsu curry or katsu salad, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh no, I've got to be good.
Yeah.
You know, it is. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I ended up having a chicken burger Saturday night afterwards from a kebab shop.
Yeah.
Because I had a few drinks, you know.
Yeah.
And just ended up, you know. But then Sunday was good, you know.
Yeah, I think once you've done all the hard work and that, you can allow yourself to have days off and that. And it's just about breaking the habit of getting into it every day, like a Greggs sausage roll every morning or a McDonald's muffin every morning.
And I think that's that important bit that you said around lifestyle change. So you've kind of, it's not just a diet, as it were. Your whole life and your perception of food and how you interact with that has changed.
Yeah, completely.
And I think that's the important bit. A lot of the time people miss out on that. They go on these, I've got to go on a diet, and they sort of cut off like a couple of months of their life where they're just going to be doing whatever they need to do, and then reach a target weight, and then it just all goes out the window, and they go right back to square one because they're not making the adjustment to their lifestyle.
Yeah, I think you just got to be sensible and just think what you're doing, but not put too much pressure on yourself and stuff as well. But then we show you the transformation pictures of Rick before we started this podcast. He looks like a different bloke, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's an absolute massive difference. Like not only your weight, but you were losing your hair as well, which you.
So if you rewind before that, I've done lots of yo-yo diets before. I've done the Cambridge diet before and lost a stone in a month.
Yeah.
You know, I've done it and I've felt better, but then I'd still look in the mirror and see a slightly less fat bloke, bald, and that knocked me. So I've tried everything. It's been about 10-15 years. I've tried a thing called Belgravia, which basically you just took a pill every day and then you just put this serum on your head, and it just naturally grew your hair back. It's something to do with testosterone. It lowered it to help your hair grow, and it worked. It did work, but it was something you'd have to do for the rest of your life. But that was 15 years ago. I've done that 12 years ago. So I was really conscious about it. So I went and got a wig from a place called Quiff & Co. I'd see it on social media, TikTok or whatever it was, and I got it. And to start with, you could, if you had met me, you wouldn't have known it was. You know, the way they do it is amazing. But then, because it is natural hair, but they take your existing hair and they match the colour. So after time, the dye starts to fade, and then it becomes noticeable because you've got a two-tone head. And it did look, and it was, you know, if I played football or anything, I'd have to glue it back on afterwards because it'd come unstuck. You know, so I went with my brothers one day, and I love both my brothers, and my oldest brother said to me, he said, "Look, it looks stupid." He said, "I'm your brother. I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but I think it looks stupid. If you're that conscious about it, go get a hair transplant." He said, "That's everlasting. It's natural. It's your hair." So I looked into it, and someone I knew had just had one done, and I was like, "Do you know what? I'm going to do it." So booked an appointment, sent them the photos. Within 2 months I was going to London for my first one, because I had that much hair loss. I had to have two, because they do the front, middle in one, and then they do the crown on the second. So I went and got that done. And I think if it wasn't for that before my weight loss, I think my weight loss wouldn't have carried on, because my hair was starting to grow, and then I was losing weight. So I was looking in the mirror and starting to see a transformation, which I've always wanted. So that then pushed me to carry on losing the weight. And after a month of doing a Cambridge diet, I started going to the gym. Only in my lunch times. People might say, well, you must be going for 2 hours a day. I would do 35 to 45 minutes a day in the gym. Nothing major. Wouldn't leave the gym sweating or really tired. It would just be a lunchtime session.
Weights.
I started off doing 10 minutes on a bike, 10 minutes on a cross trainer, 10-minute walk but incline, and a 10-minute row or 10-minute cycle. So I just do 40 minutes. That was it. And then as I lost more and more, one of my good mates, Sean Stannard, I see him in the gym and he goes at the same time and he does weight training. And I thought, I want to spend some time with my mate and lose weight and get a bit more defined, get a bit more muscly. So I've started.
He's a good bloke to go to the gym.
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing.
He's a freak.
Yeah,
he's so strong for a small. It's ridiculous.
Lovely bloke as well.
Yeah, he is. And last 6 weeks, he's really, really helped me. He pushes me every time. If he can't go to the gym, he'll message me afterwards saying, "Did you go? What did you do?"
That's what you need, people like that, right?
Yeah, but it's encouraging. And if I'm struggling on a weight, he's there to help me. He doesn't ever put me down. He lifts a lot more than me. Yeah. Weight wise, but he doesn't make you feel inferior to him at all. And there's some other people I see at the gym as well, and they're all encouraging. And when people say, "Cool, you look completely different," there's someone at work that sent a picture of me to their dad, and I know their dad. I know him, and his reply was, "Who's that?" Didn't even recognise me. And that for me hit home. Was like, I have
come a long way.
Yeah. So, but it's now not about the weight loss. It's now my whole lifestyle, my mentality on it is completely changed. I enjoy it. I'm happy eating a salad. I don't ever sit on the sofa and think, I really fancy a biscuit, a chocolate bar.
Very unprofessional of you there.
Sorry.
No, we're at Rick's house.
It was your Christmas present, so I've asked him to take it back.
Oh no, don't do that. Go and get it. Go quick. Are we doing gifts this year? Are we? It's so much more fun Christmas nowadays. Right, what were you going on about?
So how do you feel in yourself now compared to? I mean, it's not. You say since July.
July the 1st was when I weighed myself, and I was 18.3 stone.
Blimey.
And now I'm 13. I think I'm 13.11.
That's massive.
Yeah, and it's not. It's not actually a really long period of time. I mean, the first 4 months I lost 4 stone, literally in 4 months to the day. So
you've literally lost, or I'd say, my daughter's weight.
Yeah. I mean, before that, you spoke about doing a dip, and people turn up being body conscious. If you look at the photos from a year ago when I was doing a dip regularly, look at every single photo, and I'll bet you I'm wearing a hat in every single one. Actually, I don't need a bet because I know, because I've seen them.
Yeah.
Every single photo I'd wear a hat, and I'd be wearing a t-shirt in the photos afterwards, because some people stand there straight out of the water. First thing I'd do, straight out of the water, I'd have my hat on already, and I'd just put a t-shirt on, and then I'd be ready for the photo.
Yeah, I think you're right. So if you're conscious about something and you can afford it, go and get it done.
I think that's so important. I mean, I think obviously perception is a big thing in today's society, and how people feel. People look at them and judgments or whatnot, or your own personal feeling on it, but you've got to get it right for yourself. And if it has an impact on your day-to-day life and how you're feeling, your mental health, do what you've got to do to get it right. And I think that's the important bit. And I think you're a clear example of someone who's you've made a couple of adjustments and you feel so much better for it. And that's you've done it all in just a few months.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I've put a few posts on Facebook updates. It wasn't to get likes or comments. It was more I want to help people, and I was really happy when whenever I've put one on, that I do get messages from people saying, "How have you done it?" And every single time I give them the full. This is what I've done, step by step. But I couldn't do it without my friends and family. Yeah. The support I get each day. I still have down days. I've learned just because someone's smiling on the outside doesn't mean they're smiling on the inside. Yeah. Because I was always, even at 18 stone and no hair, people still thought I was happy because I wore a mask and I wouldn't let people see my inner feelings. So with this journey, I've learned to share and open up, and a problem shared is a problem halved.
Definitely.
I want to, for me, anyone struggling with weight loss or hair loss, male or female, if they want to talk to me about it, I can give tips. I'm no personal trainer or PT or hair doctor.
But you've lived it.
Yeah.
And
I think life experience sometimes more valuable than what any professional can give you, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. I just think with personal things, what I've learned is I've got more from people that have lived and gone through a certain situation than what I have advice from a professional that hasn't. Do you know what I mean? And I think that goes with anything. So I think you don't need to be a professional. If you've lived and lost your hair and you know how it feels, you can help someone. Do you know what I mean? Them dogs are doing my head in, Rick. I asked you to put them out. This is unprofessional. Take 342. Action. So you were bald and fat. I'm only joking.
Oh shit.
We have good banter, don't we? What's that? Is that good banter?
Is it actually recording?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I love banter, but
You are a funny man.
what funny looking?
No, not anymore.
Yeah. I know you've got no jokes on me now.
I'm the fat friend.
No. Yeah.
What's next for Rick then?
I don't know really. I'm just, like I said, my lifestyle's completely changed.
Yeah.
I still go to the gym.
How many times are you gymming at the minute then?
4 times a week.
It's crucial for mental health as well, isn't it?
If I'm having a bad day, that is the most important time to go, but it's the hardest. Because if I've had a bad morning or something's triggered me or anything's going on in my life, I'll go to the gym. Yeah. Or play music loud. Yeah. They're my 2 go-tos.
You've expressed to me though that you don't actually like the gym, do you? You hate it when you're there, don't you? But you just do it because
I love the feeling afterwards.
Yeah, so that's why you push yourself through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
I heard that on another podcast. Joe Rogan was saying about himself. He describes himself as the laziest. What was the word? Like laziest, but I don't know what he said now. Laziest, but most active person he knows, because he never wants to do what he's doing, but he does it anyway. Yeah. And that's what you just described.
Did you know he's been doing Day of December as well?
Yeah, probably.
He obviously not. He doesn't know what we're doing here. He's done it because you've been promoting it. But he's actually for this month. He's doing cold water dip in his house. He's got like a proper.
Well, he set himself up that little challenge.
Yeah, he's doing them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, every morning he first gets out of bed, he just goes and walks and does. I think he does.
I know he had an ice bath and that.
3 or 4 minutes in his ice bath.
Yeah.
And he describes the way he describes it is exactly how I feel it when you first go down there in the mornings, and you, especially this time of year, because it's dark, it's cold before you even get in there, and you know it's going to be horrible, and everything in your mind is telling you not to go in. But once you settle, and then you get past it, and you get control of your breath. Yeah. And you just reap the rewards.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not the last few days. It's been a bit wavy.
Yeah, it's looked pretty brutal down there.
It has. Someone ended up in hospital.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if I should. He's all right. We were all in the water yesterday.
It's terrible.
This is terrible. Think about what I say. But he was in the water, Tony, the old boy, and we were all in there. There was a few people that were just stood and splashed themselves with water because it has been a bit rough, and there was a few waves. And the last couple of days, it's been really wavy. And I have learned over that year, I went in every single day, and looking back on it and reflecting back, it was a bit selfish of me because there was people there, and just because I was willing to get in the water because I'd made that decision every single day without fail, people followed me in, and I looking back on it, I actually put people in danger on that year-long challenge on the days that I should have got.
Blame yourself for that, mate. But people make the choice to get in there.
Yeah,
right?
but when you set up something like this, I'm not saying, I'm the leader, but you lead by example. And so there was the other day, I just laid on the beach and let the waves come over me. I had no problems in going in with the waves, but there was a few people a bit anxious, so I just wanted to lead by example. But yesterday, there was a couple of big waves, but nothing too drastic. So we all made the group decision to get in fully immersed, and it was all going so well. And then someone's face changed to, they were sitting where you are now and looking out at sea, and I was looking into shore talking to them, and their face changed, and I actually heard him go, oh shit. And I turned round, and there's about 7-8 foot wave and it hit us all, and it was like ice going over our heads, like brain freeze. The people that are on the shore were in the water. The people that were in the water were on the shore. It was a bit mental. And then
it's not the one that wiped me out.
Well, but unfortunately, someone's knee hit him in the temple, and he was all right and everything, and talking and fine. I went off to work, got a phone call. We'd gone to the sauna, and he'd done a funny moment, and he couldn't remember his name, which was obviously worrying. He couldn't remember who anyone was, and they took him up to hospital. His 2 lads joined him, and he's absolutely fine now. He's actually down on the beach today. He come down to the beach today just to thank people for helping him, and he dove back in the water, which I didn't recommend. But I actually had to ask him to get out because he was in the water before I'd got there, actually,
right.
And then we got entered the water, and he'd been in about 5 minutes already, so then he'd been in like 15 minutes, and then someone turned up late, went in the water, and he went back in with them, and I was like, please mate, you need to come out of the water, because you've got to bear in mind, you've got 22 minutes, I think it's between 22 and 27 when hypothermia can kick in at these temperatures. So we've got to, even though you feel warm, that's your body actually in survival mode. You've got to be conscious of that when doing the dips. And speaking of doing the dips,
I've been doing them every day.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, in my hot tub. I've got it down from 40 degrees to 37. It's getting colder.
That's good for you. I bet you still scream.
And are you reaping the benefits from
it? I am.
But you're coming down to do a dip on Friday, aren't you?
I have said I'm going to do it Friday, yeah.
Oh, good.
Because I have my little boy quite a bit.
You've done it before, haven't you? We go back to what we were saying, and getting in and that is horrible, and no one knows that better than Rick, because when Rick gets in the water, the whole town gets up. You'd think it's a 6-year-old girl. He burst my eardrum.
I'm very vocal.
Yes. Yeah. I actually had to hold your hand once.
That's not because that was warm that day. You just wanted any old excuse.
Yeah, we had a cuddle.
No, but I do.
You make a lot of noise getting in the water though, don't you?
It just hits me, that cold. But for me as well, that's another thing that helped me when I was struggling a year ago.
That's what I was going to ask you. What did it help? Like, tell the people what benefits you got from it, because it is really a really effective tool, isn't it?
I think I've done it quite a bit, but I think I've done about 15 days on the trot.
Yeah.
After
that was in the depths of winter as well, wasn't it?
It was July.
Oh.
It was June or July.
Oh.
And that was down to
completely wrong, Sam.
Yeah,
that's not like me.
Way off.
And it was still freezing. And it was still freezing.
Yeah. Why was you screaming so much? You did do it in the winter, though.
I have done it in the winter, and that was horrible.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't say horrible, because it is an amazing. It's an amazing feeling once you're in there. And once you've done it, I remember the first
30 seconds or a minute.
And you've taught me to concentrate on your breathing, and that minute goes quite quickly. But for me, the first day I'd done it, I remember going home. That was when we were doing them at 5:30 in the morning. So I went home, didn't go back to bed, done washing, ironing, made lunch, done loads of jobs you're rushing around at 7, 8 o'clock at night doing. Went to work, and then about 10, 11 o'clock got a buzz, 2 o'clock got a buzz, and I was like, what's this? You know, and it was amazing.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Just from a bit of cold water.
That's the dopamine, and it releases it slowly throughout the day, and what you're experiencing then is feel good, which is exactly, I always repeat myself, but it's good to get the point across, but that is exactly what they are trying to do with antidepressants.
Yeah.
Is get them same chemicals moving around your brain, and nothing. And I'm not advising anyone come off antidepressants or anything like that. But for me personally, nothing has ever been more effective than cold water. And just now, recently I've been in and out of doing the dips recently for personal reasons and other stuff going on and that. But setting this challenge has been fucking incredible for me, because I've really reaping the rewards from it again, and this. I have not had a suicidal thought since I started cold water therapy. I used to get them quite regularly, but when I was a teenager and stuff like that, and that is incredible, really. And when I say suicidal thought, there'd be a time as well where that would come into my head, and I would never have acted on it, but I used to use it, I've expressed before, as a comfort blanket, an anchor to go back to. Like, if things get much worse, then I can always do that. It's always a get out card.
We've spoken about it before, haven't we? Yeah.
But I've not had, since been doing cold water therapy, I've not had one of them thoughts ever, and I used to get them thoughts regularly for a long time.
Yeah.
Very powerful tool, cold water therapy. Very.
It must have been May I was doing the dips, because I got my car in May, and I let you drive it 4 days after.
What? You let him drive it?
4 days I had this car, and he
Right,
curbed
nice
the wheel.
for you to come on. Thank you.
And he only drove it from the seafront to his flat, and he curbed the wheel.
Yeah. Well, I curbed the wheel within the first 20 seconds of being in it. What car is it? It's only
A black one.
What car is it?
A Porsche Taycan.
It'll be alright.
Yeah, literally. And then he said to me on Saturday, didn't you? So I said, we said to your girls, didn't we? Should we go? Where do you want to go for dinner? And they went Wagamama's. I was like, okay, my car's around the corner. Let's go. And Sam said, can I drive? And I went, no chance. What? Never again? No.
I just opened up then about something really emotional, and the first thing that went into his mind was, you curbed my car.
You did.
Fair enough.
And it's a daily.
That's you, Sam.
Yeah. Every time I get in my car, I think of you. Yeah. So I look at that wheel, thinking, cheers.
Well, that's a good way to set your day off.
Yeah.
A lot of people think of me first thing in the morning.
Oh, God. Anyway, back to you.
Jack.
I know you've spoken about how you feel you're there to sort of offer support for anyone, but if you could give any advice to people who may be in a similar situation yourself, which, let's be honest, is quite a common thing. I know a lot of people who are starting to go through the hair transplant stuff, and people. It seems to be becoming a lot more of a common thing, which I think is a positive. I think people are being a lot more open about it, and I think sharing your story and what you've been through, I think, will be a great benefit for people. But what can you offer as like advice, like words of wisdom for anyone who's going through similar?
Well, at work they used to have a joke with me. I'd start a diet on a Monday. I'd say I'm on a diet now, and then on Wednesday there'd be a McDonald's breakfast turn up, and the lads would go to me, "Oh, I thought you were on a diet." I was like, no, you can't start a diet on a Wednesday. I'll start it again on Monday. I'd always say I've got to start on a Monday. There is no Monday, Tuesday. There's no day. Start today. Don't leave it for tomorrow. Start today. And what my advice would be for people, and as hard as it is, and it may be wrong, it may be right, but what I felt was I went really hard. I went all in. I went on the Cambridge diet. I cut out the fizzy drinks. I cut out the snacks. I didn't do anything wrong. And after those first 3-4 weeks, I noticed I lost a stone in the first month. I noticed a big difference straight away, and then that spurred me on just to carry on with it. If you want to lose weight, you can't really do it
half-hearted, all in, all
because you're.
But like you said, you put in that hard work at the beginning, and then it opens the door later on. So just a bit of commitment at the start and everything, and then you can treat yourself a bit. But you've got to be committed to it, and you've got to set certain standards for yourself, haven't you? It's a lifestyle, and it's breaking old habits and that as well. That's all it is eating badly, is old habits and things, and you got to form new ones, like going to the gym and not picking up the phone and ordering a kebab at the end of the day.
I mean, I remember I spoke earlier in the year about my binge eating. When I spoke about that, that was all to do with I was having a bit of a crisis with my work and where I was going to go with my career, and kind of found myself a bit of a crossroads, and that really proper done me in. I was really struggling, and normally my mood would take a massive dip, and and then I'd have a few down days, and then I'd get my shit together. But I just found it was like a revolving door, not ups and downs. I was like, I'd have days where I was focused and I knew exactly where I was going, and then eventually, straight away I'd just dip again, and I was up and down, couldn't make my mind up, and then all of a sudden one day I found myself going to the supermarket, just buying loads of trash food, going home and just binge eating. And I haven't done that since it was probably about a decade ago, and I found myself in this moment binge eating. And then I had like a sugar coma, put myself in a sugar coma and passed out on the sofa, woke up feeling horrendous, and I think I called you and I said, Sal, I hadn't done this in fucking years. I said, I don't know what the hell's going on with me, but
I was eating at the time.
Yes. But I was like I need to make, I said, fuck, something's not right here. So I knew I had to finally make a decision, and that's all I needed to do. I need to make my mind up as to what I was going to do, and thankfully I made the right choice, and that's not reoccurred, kind of thing. I'm actually in a much better place, and that sort of picked back up, and everything's going great again. But that moment of, I don't even know where it come from. It's like, normally I'd have these periods of like being really low, but it was literally like day in, day out. Like, it was very different. Strange how it can affect some people like that. I suppose some people have different relationships with food and how they can respond to certain emotions and whatnot.
Definitely.
One other thing for me, another little word of wisdom is you can't do it for someone else. You have to do it for yourself. Yeah. If you want to lose weight because your partner has maybe made a comment, or to your friends, or you've been out and you've asked for someone's number and they said no, or anything like that, and you're thinking, well, if I lose weight, that will make my life better. You've got to want to do it for yourself. I've done it for myself to make myself feel better. I'm not bothered if that makes someone else feel better. I've done it because I want to look in the mirror and smile back at myself. And some days, most days I do now. There's still some days I look in the mirror and I'm just like, and I'm still not. But that's gone from 7 days a week of not seeing someone smile back at me to maybe once or twice. At some weeks none, but the next week I may have a couple of days. And I'm really open with it. I'm really open. I never thought I had a mental health issue. I didn't even really believe in it. I didn't really believe in it, but I never believed I had one. And then everything that went on, I'm open with it. I had therapy. I see a therapist, and she helped me. My family have been unreal. my friends, especially my close ones, have been unreal, and I can't thank people enough. And all I know is that if anyone comes to me, whether they're a friend, family or a stranger, and ask for my help, I will give it to them.
Yeah.
For me, time, no matter how rich you are in the world, you can't buy time back.
No.
So that's the most valuable thing. So I will give anyone my time.
Yeah, and you do, and I've seen it, mate. I'm all jokes and everything aside, you have banter and stuff, but you're an amazing person and a brilliant mate, and even in your darkest hours, I've seen you helping strangers, and it's inspiring. It really is. You've inspired me to get back in the gym. I've been saying to you for months, like, I'm getting back into it, and I keep like doing bits here and bits there, and not being consistent with it. But seeing
you hit some goals this year and climbing some mountains. Sam.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I'm actually the weight's coming off now, and I'm starting to notice it, and I'm focused again. That switch has changed, and that's a big part of that is you watching your journey and being inspired by you. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I've sorted my mental health out. I've sorted like how I'm feeling, like, and going to the dips and doing all that sort of thing. But there was a part of me that was a bit unhealthy and eating too much and stuff. And I recognised that, and now I'm back in the gym. I've got this fight coming up in March, hopefully, which is on my bucket list. It's not like a major fight or anything. It's just something I've wanted to do, and I want to set goals and everything. And a big part of that has been from watching your story.
Yeah,
I've shared your story because I know it'll inspire others, and just seeing that massive difference does help not just you but the people around you as well, like massively.
No doubt about it. Yeah. It's mad how much of an effect you can have on someone just by sharing your own experiences.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I've even had the past week. So I started my week off. I was in London, and I think I told you I was going to like a donor conceived workshop thing.
Yeah.
And I kind of went in there, and my initial thought, looking around the room, I was like, "Oh, I might have come to like the wrong meeting," because there was the diversity in the room was very much more sort of females, and I just sort of stood there. I was like, I think I'm in the right place, but I was in the right place. It's just I was one of the only actual like donor conceived people, and a lot of the others were either like counsellors or donors or people kind of involved in other angles. But me just sharing my experience, I had such amazing response from people coming up to me, and people were inspired by my story, and that was when I realised that is the benefit from it.
Yeah.
Even just a very simple act like that, just being open about your own experiences and being a bit vulnerable about it as well. You can just inspire individuals.
It's contagious. Courage is contagious.
Yeah.
You show you as a bit vulnerable, and you let people in. What that does is it allows other people to get vulnerable and open up themselves, and once they get that off their chest, and then they can conquer the fucking world once you get the shit out of your mind. You know what I mean?
Being vulnerable is not a weakness.
No, it's not a weakness, but
and that's some people think that.
I think that's quite key, actually.
If anything, it's the opposite.
Yeah, I see so many people in my job who they still have a massive chip on their shoulder. They're trying to be someone that they're not, and you can read it all over them. I'm getting, but honestly, the more experience I get from working with people, the more I can see it, and I pick up on it quite quickly. But I think making yourself vulnerable, especially when you've been through some trauma or you've been through some hard times, so important for growth. Like to actually become a better person and for your own development as an individual. I think that's so important, and it's something to be proud of as well when you overcome something like that.
100%, definitely. Right, should we go and get a burger? I'm fucking starving. Jesus.
I'm good.
Anything to add, Sammy?
No, I'm good. Anything, Rick?
No, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Rick, shout out peace out for me. Peace out.
What?
That's the correct response, Rick.
Yeah,
and on that note,